It's time to get lost in the midcard. This Believe in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code BELIEVE. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Believe Podcast Network.
So, what do you want to talk about? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where even if you're the best in the world, you're not welcome backstage. It's Lost in the Midcard. It's rare that you get the breaking news literally minutes before you go live, but we got some interesting breaking news. Even some video that was on Twitter and whatnot. Very interesting information there. We're going to get to that in just a second, as well as the rest of the news for today. Lots of news to talk about. As we are on the cusp of the WWE Draft, which is going to kick off this Friday on SmackDown and then continue on into Monday Night Raw the following next week. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out leading up to that. Of course, the main news was going to be about speculating what Triple H's big announcement is, but instead another guy decided to jump in and give us some breaking news, and that is none other than CM Punk. Mike Johnson, PW Insider, literally about a half an hour ago, reporting that former WWE and current AEW star CM Punk backstage for a little bit at tonight's Monday Night Raw. Of course, they are in Chicago at the sold-out Rosemont Allstate Arena in Rosemont, and same venue that CM Punk happened to beat John Cena for Money in the Bank in one of the craziest, most real life situation turning into playing out on a pay-per-view. Is Punk really leaving with the title, and then the triumphant debut of when he came out to Cult of Personality and standing John Cena face to face. I think that was after Rey Mysterio unfortunately lost his title one night after winning it, something like that. I think is how it went down. And then all of a sudden, Cult of Personality hits, and like a lot of the arena did not realize that's what Punk had used, and they were so confused at what was going on. And then here comes CM Punk, and what a moment, what a time that was. Hard to believe that was 12 years ago. Jesus. But there is no word who Punk was visiting, but they have heard from several sources that he did briefly see Paul Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H, which would be the first time the two have met in person since Punk walked out on the company after the Royal Rumble in 2014. Punk met with several other talent, but then was eventually asked to exit the arena. One source believed that it may have been that since he's under contract with AEW, that they were told by that same source that it may have been a Vince McMahon call to have him leave the arena. And when he was asked, Punk immediately did so, said goodbye, left the building. Fightful follow-up report. They mentioned PW Insider's report about him being briefly backstage. Those that they spoke to said they got eyes on Punk speaking to talent, including Miz, who he's had crosswords with on Twitter in the past. Briefly spoke with Triple H. A video circulating, as I had mentioned. There's a video circulating with Tamina outside. Let me see if I can get that pulled up here. If I can get this baby at full screen. We'll get to that in a minute here. This is the hard part about doing this by myself, is trying to get all this stuff to work all at once. So it looks like Pro Wrestling at Magazine Picks, Pro Wrestling Clips is what they're called. At Magazine Picks is the account where they got either they took the video or someone else took the video of Punk and Tamina briefly talking. Let me see if I can get that pulled up here. Through the magic of screen sharing here. Bear with me just a second. We're gonna try to show you this here. There we go.
Hey, CM Punk, we won't tell you here if you come over here and take the picture. I see you over there with that red cat.
Somebody's trying to get CM Punk for some pictures.
Hey, CM Punk, we won't tell you here if you come over here and take the picture.
That's quite the interesting fan there. But yeah, so they showed him back there in the parking lot with Tamina, and interesting that he's talking with Triple H as well. Talking with obviously a guy that he has had words for in the past. Talking with the Miz, who has not gotten along with in the past. It's very interesting, just this news, you know. I mean, it's not new that an AEW star is backstage. I mean, you saw him on camera at the Hall of Fame with Andrade and Buddy Murphy. You know, that's not new news, but the fact that CM Punk is backstage is definitely some big news. Obviously, he wants to get back into wrestling. A lot of indications are that he is going to come back to AEW. Further on the Fightful report, several talent have been told that CM Punk was asked to leave by Jim Kelly, not the Bills quarterback, but WWE's head of security. That was not confirmed, though. Numerous wrestlers in WWE believed that the move was a publicity stunt for a return to AEW soon, as they will be returning to Chicago in June. Those that that Fightful spoke to said Punk left without incident. There are several AEW talent in disbelief when they heard that he was backstage at Raw. WWE talent were shocked that he got backstage, even though he's got history in the company. When they asked WWE in an official capacity about the situation, they were just told that they don't have any info as of yet. So a wild scene in WWE with CM Punk being backstage. Let's get to the chats here. Bell in the chat. Punk in the building. Does he know Adam Pearce is probably busy hiding from Chelsea Green to talk to him? Craig Backlund, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. CM Punk confirmed WWE bound. Probably not, but I don't know. Steven Chambers, what's up in the chat there? Thank you for joining. As always, no love for Punk. WWE kicked him out. Yeah. MK, what's up, man? Good to see you back again. A shock, Punk seeing his friends. Yeah, that is possible there. Just a crazy scene though. It's just it's weird, and obviously, you know, Steven, what if Cody spotted Punk? Well, I don't know. I mean, Cody wasn't involved in the old thing there, the scrum. So it's interesting. But that's definitely got the wrestling world a buzzing tonight, man. That's for damn sure. That came out of nowhere. Unexpected. I really want to know what went down between him and Triple H, what was said between him and Triple H. That is what really interests me the most. And put it out there in the chat what you think. What do you think? Was Punk doing this to drum up AEW's return to Chicago, or is he going to WWE? Is he trying to mend fences there? Let me know what you think of CM Punk showing up backstage at Monday Night Raw tonight. I saw a tweet from Dijak, which led me to this news. I didn't even see the news break until I saw this tweet. But I saw Dijak tweeting, and Dijak's tweet said, let me get to his page here. You know who else is backstage at WWE Raw? A bunch of hardworking talent who bust their ass every week for your entertainment. Enjoy the show. Sounds like a huge one. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Bell in the chat. For real, considering his bad blood with the company, it's not really surprising. Don, what's up, man? One would think he would say hi to a few people, and Paul was like, get out of there. Apparently, he had a conversation with Paul. So it wasn't Paul that kicked him out, apparently, according to reports. Steven Punk stirring the pot, Punk waking up the wrestling media. That is what he has done for damn sure. I'm sure there's going to be more follow-up on this. The fact that AEW is coming there in a couple of months, I think he's just trying to drum up the interest. I could see that happening. That would not be a surprise in my book. But really, I really want to know what was talking to Triple H about, man. MK in the chat, Vince was like, is that Phil Brooks? Phil, you're fired. Good for Dijak, says Bell in the chat, and Ace. Ole Davis jokingly referenced CM Punk and WWE on the Wrestle Talk News today. If only knew hours later. Yeah, but I mean, it's easy to just speculate that because they're in Chicago. So, I mean, it's a wild time, man. It's a wild time. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I love having each and every one of you joining us live each and every week on Lost in the Midcard, your official pre-show for a Monday Night Raw that might be pretty interesting. Probably going to have a hot crowd in Chicago. It's been sold out for some time now. If you haven't done so already, make sure to go to our YouTube page, Believe in Pro Wrestling, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you know every time we go live. You'll see, of course, here every Monday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And then we've got Rick and Sid. Later this week, they may do something with the draft, possibly, maybe. We'll talk a little bit about the draft as well and get your thoughts on who should maybe go where. Be interesting to see there as well. Also, make sure to share this out and comment and get this out to the world so we can get even more of you involved in the chat and have a lot of fun here as we lead up to Monday Night Raw in about 45 minutes. Antoine in the chat, Punk was there to negotiate a WWE versus AEW show. How epic would that be if they ever would work together? You probably will never see it. I mean, while Vince is alive. There is money in that, though. I mean, the fans would go nuts over it. Tinfoil prediction from Don. AJ Lee returns to backup Trish. That would be pretty cool. AJ Lee's without. Yeah, she's kind of running things with WoW. I don't know if she's still involved with that. I haven't followed it up as much, or if she's even still under contract. I do not know at this moment. But what a wild time. What a wild time. CM Punk is at Monday Night Raw. Was at Monday Night Raw. Now he's who knows where he's at. Oh man, that is insane. That is insanity, man. What a way to kick off the show. Well, let's move along to what originally was the top story, which is tonight on WWE Raw. Triple H is set to have a major announcement, and a lot of speculation here on what this major announcement could be. Obviously, the draft is in a few days, kicking off this Friday on SmackDown. Is it about the draft? Is it the format of the draft? Is it what's going to happen? Anything officially tied to the draft? Does it have something to do with that? But what is really kind of causing a stir is something that came from Fightful earlier today, that the backstage speculation is that Triple H is going to introduce the new world title tonight. Now they're going to, of course, have a unified title probably for Roman Reigns and whoever knocks off Roman Reigns going forward. And this will be a completely new title. Obviously, the world title, WWE title, and the Universal title are now combined, and it looks like they're not going to split. They're going to go with a brand new world championship. That could be that's the heavy speculation right now. Fightful reached out to WWE to see what the announcement may be, but they have not heard back in an official capacity. That's because they want you to tune in to Monday Night Raw tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what this big announcement is. New title be pretty cool. Again, to have a world champion on both shows, that or at least just a world champion that's there all the time, would be a nice thing. But it'll be interesting to see. Let me know in the chat what you think this is going to be. As Bell in the chat, Vince is a vampire. There's a chance we may never see it. Yeah, that's true. We probably won't. A Shock talking about the new world title. Triple H and Tony Khan have announcements this week. Tony Khan has a lot of announcements. Steven Chambers guessing the Triple H announcement could be new titles or details of the draft. That's going to be the two front runners. Cody in the chat, new world title for whatever show Roman doesn't get drafted to, unifies Roman's titles into one title. I highly doubt that Roman's going to go to Raw. I think he's staying to Fox. Possibly. It depends on what, obviously the new TV deals come out. And if everything stays status quo, Fox is probably going to have a more of a say into where they want Roman. And I'm going to assume he stays on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't see Roman changing to Monday Night Raw, to be honest with you. First champ of that new title should be Seth Rollins, while Cody dethrones Roman. Would not hate that. I would also not hate if it was Drew McIntyre if he wins and Money in the Bank overseas. I would not hate if it was Drew McIntyre as well. It'll be very interesting if that is the case and how it sets up, who's involved. Definitely going to be a shaping to be a wild night. I'm sure the crowd is probably looking at their cell phone, seeing the CM Punk news. So they're going to be buzzing even more. There's probably going to be a million CM Punk chants. Just watch. I bet so. Bell, every time TK has an announcement, I have a shot. And Bell likes to drink. So, though that last big announcement was pretty big that AEW is going to go to Wembley Stadium. So that was a pretty big announcement. Not every Tony Khan huge announcement is big, but I agree with Steven that Saturday show is on the cusp. And I think once we get to that Saturday show on AEW, I think that's where we're going to firmly get that whole pool of talent that they have split into three between Dynamite, Collision, and Ring of Honor. I don't know what they do with Dark and Dark Elevation. I don't see the need for them, honestly. But we'll see what happens there. I literally don't have time to watch those. I barely have time to get Ring of Honor in, and I've not even gotten NXT in the past 3 weeks. Working 3 jobs kind of does that to you, but I did catch Ring of Honor though, and holy shit, Vikingo against Gringo Loco, that was insanity. But it's a lot of fun to be a pro wrestling fan nowadays with all the things that are going around. So yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens with Triple H here. Literally kicking off. I don't know if he kicks off Monday Night Raw. We may get a little more on that if Fightful post the Raw plans, but of course, they just posted the Raw plans. So doesn't say that it's kicking off the show, but the Raw plans are out. We will get to those Raw plans here at the end of the show on that, but let's keep on going in the news here. More WWE news in here as there's an update on the hiring freeze. This came from Fightful Select yesterday. They've learned more on what is the so-called hiring freeze, even though they are not using that term really. There's been basically an effective hiring freeze in place since the beginning of the year. That term has not been an official term that's been used, but they learned that Nick Aldis was told that WWE had maintained interest in him, but with the corporate moves, there were not going to be any main roster hires made. They were told that Fightful was told that a WWE higher-up was told within the industry that they're still talking to talent and hope to be hiring sooner than later. They learned there was contact with EJ and Duka via James Kimball, also with Switchblade Jay White. Triple H was adamant he didn't want the details of the talks leaked. William Regal and Bruce Pritchard have been reaching out to talent during this year, basically. And the way that they put it to Fightful is, quote, "We have not been hiring people, but we've been talking to people." And, well, apparently talking to people does not get you anywhere, because Aldis is now with Impact. Who knows, though? Those deals could be very short. And Jay White's with AEW now. So WWE lost out on Jay White because of this unofficial hiring freeze. Nick Aldis showing up at Impact, it could just be a per appearance deal. He could very well be a free agent at the drop of a hat there. So I would not be surprised if that's a very short-term deal there. They also mentioned how WWE was very interested. We've reported this before, in Hikuleo and Tama Tonga and bringing back Naomi, but they did not end up getting them. And they've also Fightful reached out to multiple free agents who have said that WWE outright stopped responding to them along the process. So basically, giving them the cold shoulder after so many roster signings were made when Triple H took over. Then the first of the year, Vince coming back, sale to Endeavor. Now this is all now leading reading to cuts. Nick Khan saying there's more cuts on the way. Be interesting to see how many of those are Triple H's hires from 2022. I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised at all. We got an update on Mercedes Moné, and it is learned that she is about to be a free agent. Mercedes has no more dates left with Stardom at the moment, and according to members of her team, the two sides are open to doing more business in the future. And Stardom has been happy with the deal and the business that she has conjured up for the company. Both sides have been open to be doing business again in the future. Probably would require a bigger renegotiation, considering the business that she drew with Stardom there. It was reported over the weekend that an extension of her deal was done, but told by members of her team that as of now, that just covers the May New Japan show in the United States. Sources that Fightful spoke with New Japan were not sure how long the deal ran, but did say that there were not any matches scheduled in Japan for, quote, at least a while. So it's going to be interesting. Let me know in the chat. What do you think about Mercedes Moné? What do you think her future is gonna? Is she gonna sign a long-term deal with AEW? Is she gonna be signing a short-term deal with GCW? Does she go to Impact for a short amount of time? Where do you see Mercedes ending up at this point? It'd be interesting to see what happens with her. As Ace is almost reading the lineup sheet of the show here, as we get into Mercedes Moné. It's going to be interesting to see what and where. I mean, if I was Tony Khan, I'd throw a buttload of money at her and get her signed up for 4 to 5 years. That's what I would do. But does she want to do that? Does she want to be locked into a long-term deal? Or does she want to do more short-term deals like she's done with Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling? She could do it with Impact. There's a lot of talent there. She could wrestle Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, if she resigns. There's a lot of options for there. A lot of great matches to have there. Obviously, AEW, there's a lot of matches you'd like to see. Be interesting if maybe she joins the Outcasts. Could fit into that very easily. Anything could happen there. As we head to the chat here, Ace Shock says draft predictions for NXT call-ups. Well, I think the obvious. I haven't watched NXT in about 3 weeks. I'm 3 weeks behind. I'm gonna get caught up sooner or later. So I haven't even seen Braun turn heel, but I would assume maybe Braun Breaker. Now that he's turned heel, maybe they're gonna pump the brakes on that. Without watching NXT over the last few weeks, I could see Zoe Stark. I could see Grayson Waller. I could see Braun Breaker. I was going to say Indy Hartwell, but then she ended up winning the women's championship. I have not watched NXT in a few weeks, so if Indy's got a match coming up, maybe it's a short title reign, and then she joins Candice and Johnny and Dexter on the main roster. Of course, Johnny, as we reported last week, is down with as he re-aggravated his shoulder. So, maybe there's some surprises. I mean, a lot of times with NXT call-ups, there's people that get called up that we weren't even expecting. Everybody in the world is expecting Braun Breaker. But he just turned heel, so do they call him up now? I don't know. It's interesting. But Bell in the chat, what does one do after 2 successful headlining sets at Coachella? Challenge Judgment Day at Backlash. I am excited for Backlash. This card is shaping up nicely. I cannot wait to see how this Puerto Rico crowd reacts to, especially Damian Priest, Bad Bunny, just to everything. I'm excited for that show, man. I think this is going to be a hell of a Backlash. And I haven't said that over the last few years for Backlash. So I'm excited on that one. Steven Chambers in the chat could see Mercedes go to New Japan or AEW. Don't really see her going back to WWE. I don't either. AEW, less dates, same money. WWE, more dates, more money. More money. I honestly, a short run with Impact would not surprise me at this point. A similar deal like she did with Stardom. It just all depends. If she wants, she was with WWE long term. Does she want to be with the other side long term, or does she want to stick to short term and kind of more the Matt Cardona route? I don't know. It'll be interesting to do. Multiple Brinks trucks. Yes, that's what's going to take Tony Khan that's what Tony Khan should bring to the negotiations. Don in the chat, does she try to emulate or strike her way through like Cardona or Cody? That's why I thought, I just mentioned the Cardona route, and obviously Cardona is very successful right now in the Indies, does not need WWE. I do think he's going to, once that hiring freeze is gone, I almost believe he's going to come back as Matt Cardona, similar to Cody Rhodes, keeping his gimmick that he had on the Indies that made it successful. I honestly think so. Ace in the chat, Steph DeLander wants to join AEW from her tweet. Yes, I love Steph. And she's been doing great work with Cardona, being his kind of mixed tag partner with Chelsea Green now in WWE. She's done a great job there. Let's talk some NXT call-ups. Steven in the chat here, Braun Zoe, and whenever Indy loses the title, Indy gets called up. Tyler Bate, another one. Yeah, possible. Ace saying pretty deadly. Tyler Bate, Dragunov, Roxanne. I don't know if Roxanne gets called up quite yet. Cameron Grimes is actually, I guess, has been unofficially called up, just not been on camera yet. Waller, I can see. Diamond Mine, I can see that, especially Julius Creed, man, he's gonna be a breakout star one of these days. Cora Jade, Zoe Starks, Braun to Raw. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what. I mean, we could be all bamboozled in that, and it could be some a shocking NXT call up that we don't see, which is always the fun about the draft. It was always also the fun about the Raw after Manias, but as we saw this year, that was about as bad of a Raw after WrestleMania that we could get. Transitioning from Mercedes Moné to her former tag partner, Trinity Fatu. Interesting, as she was backstage at a recent GCW show 2 days ago, Saturday, in Orlando, Florida. She was Fightful asked GCW if she was visiting or there could be more to her presence moving forward, but they did not give any indication. So not sure if Trinity is going to sign with GCW or appear for GCW, but be interesting to see. Have her in the mix. Obviously, their world champion right now is Masha Slamovich, and they got some great women in that company as well. that come through. So women like Allie Catch. So it'd be interesting. It'd be a hell of a boost in the brand for GCW's women's division. So be interesting to see. I would like to see your take on Masha. I think that'd be a hell of a match. I do not know, Ace. Did Trinity abandon the Trinity Star trademark? I am not sure on that, to be honest with you here. Steven says Trinity either Impact or AEW. Yeah, I could see either. Really surprised she didn't come back and be part of the Bloodline storyline, but I guess that's just the way that kind of crumbled there. Bell in the chat, that's if she wants to continue wrestling at all. That's true. We haven't seen her really at all. And we didn't see Mercedes for a long time either until she showed up at New Japan. So it'll be interesting to see. Our last bit of news this evening deals with a new deal that's signed, and it's going to make quite a few people happy within the company, probably, namely those that like to have their own Twitch channel, get paid to do it. Some do it for gaming, some do it for talking, some do it for anything really, basically. But WWE has reached a new deal with Twitch. And of course, like Adam Cole, he was big on Twitch and never had to abandon it because he was never called up to the main roster. So that was, and it was a big part of contention for a lot of people. Obviously, nowadays, you see Xavier Woods partnering, obviously getting the party back together with Cesaro and Tyler Breeze and Adam Cole. They play Uno on a weekly basis like they did when the pandemic hit and gave us all a lot of entertainment. So, it's great that they allowed Xavier Woods to do that now, since he's really the only one tied to WWE officially now. Tyler Breeze does work with Up, Up, Down, Down, though. So he is hired in that capacity, but no longer a WWE superstar. So this is great. This is great to allow people to get another income. The report says that they have reached an agreement that allows wrestlers back on Twitch with almost no restrictions. Those that Fightful spoke to said the revenue will be a three-way split that Twitch and the talent will take the vast majority of. So that's good that WWE's not taking much of a cut out of it. Almost no restrictions outlined. Was outlined to us as not permitting talent to stream with people from other companies unless it's cleared first. Hence, I think the party with Xavier Woods, Cesaro, Adam Cole, and Tyler Breeze. I think that was cleared, obviously, because that was before the Twitch deal even dropped. Talent that were spoken to were very happy about the deal. In April of last year, there was a talent meeting, obviously, that really pissed off a lot of wrestlers, notifying that they had previously they were pissed off in the fall of 2020 when this was eliminated. Then in 2022, there was a talent meeting held to notify wrestlers that they'd have the opportunity to expand third-party platforms again. It took a while for WWE to work a deal out with Twitch, though, but that is now final, and so it's good to see. Maybe some other wrestlers get into that entertainment fold. It's good to see also, wrestlers get get the ability to make another income, because I mean, this is a pro wrestling world where it's a business that you never know when it's over, especially if you get cut or get hurt or anything like that. So it's always good to keep generating some sort of dough. And I'm all happy for that. Frantic World, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us here. Steven, anything about the latest with Warner Brothers Discovery interested in Raw and SmackDown? I have not heard yet. Obviously, that news should be coming soon because I think the deals would go. I want to say maybe September is when that's going to drop officially, and then the deals go live in 2024. Ace saying that Fightful debunked the story. But yeah, I haven't heard anything recently yet. Ace saying Damage Control split, probably. Again, I still think possibly Dakota Kai and Io Sky turn on Bayley, where Bayley is the babyface. They could split without a turn, but I kind of wonder if they go that route. We haven't seen babyface Bayley in some time now, and I feel like this would be the perfect booking to do so, is have Io and Dakota say, we don't need you. Look at me. I'm the number one contender. We don't need you anymore. And they attack her. So I don't like the story of Bayley screwing Io out of the title. That's just too obvious. So I would rather see them go in that direction. Yes, tonight, Raw is at the All-Star Arena in Chicago, fully and legit sold out. It's been sold out for some time now, and that'll be coming your way in a little over 20 minutes. But before we get to that, let's go to AEW. AEW was live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania last week, and we kicked off the show with the world title contenders, the Four Pillars. And I was excited. I thought we were going to get a fatal four-way for the title at Double or Nothing with all four pillars. Instead, we're getting like a tournament. It's more like a gauntlet match, and the loser was Sammy and Jungle Boy, because they got to fight their way through 3 matches to win the world title. Darby Allin drew a bye, and we'll get into that main event here later on. But again, I can't complain with that. Again, we're still going to get, we're still going to get either Darby or Sammy taking on MJF at Double or Nothing, and that's going to be a tremendous match. I wonder how long they're going to keep the title on MJF. Are they going to pull a Punk situation where the bidding war of 2024 comes into play and MJF is still champion all the way into 2024? I don't know if that's the play, if that's the long-term play for MJF. If not, I think it would be damn cool to put that world title on on Darby Allin. Darby has, just in the past couple of months alone, been doing the best promo work of his life. In-ring work, much like I praised Daniel Garcia a couple weeks ago, that the in-ring work has always been there, but now his character is really coming through. Darby Allin's character has come through, but it's the promo work that's really shining right now. He's even starting to get a little heelish on some of those promos as well, and I like it a lot. Ace is right. MJF is not the only one. There is a lot of WWE talent whose contracts end up in 2024 is going to be a wild year for pro wrestling, man. Hold on to your asses, because there's going to be I think there's going to be a good amount of flip-flops. I just have a feeling. So that set up the main event for tonight, for Wednesday night, Jungle Boy Sammy Guevara kicking off the mini tournament of the Four Pillars. Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Britt in her hometown of Pittsburgh. I think, if I remember correctly, both her and Adam Cole's parents were there. I loved Paige getting into it with Britt's mom. That was a lot of fun before the match. Great match there. Sending the crowd home happy with Britt Baker and Jamie getting the win. Well, sending them happy with that match, but later on there'd be some crazy shit to happen. The Elite coming out talking about how the Blackpool Combat Club has disrespected them, and how Omega and the Elite want to squash the beef with the BCC. Then the tremendous heel Daniel Bryan gets on the screen, and the dumb baby faces stare at the screen while the other 3 members of the Blackpool Combat Club attack. And lo and behold, who makes the save? Well, not Down Callis, because he hightailed it back up the ramp after he tried to come down and threaten using a chair when all the members of the BCC were still standing. That was pretty damn hilarious in its own right. Comes back and gets Konosuke Takeshita. And I love it. I love that Takeshita was there to make the save, but Matt put Matt put a big bug in my ear a long time ago that he thinks Takeshita is going to eventually join the Blackpool Combat Club. All this Don Callis trying to recruit and stuff that's been going on for a couple months now. I feel like the play is Takeshita is going to turn on the Bullet Club, or on the Bullet Club, on the Elite. Takeshita's going to turn and join the Blackpool Combat Club, and then that leaves the door open for someone to make the save, and that is none other than Kota Ibushi, the Golden Elite with Hangman, the Golden Hung Elite. How about that name? The Golden Hung Elite. 5-on-5, blood and guts. Give it to me, baby. I agree with Matt that Takeshi's turning. I don't trust this. Kenny doesn't trust it either, especially if you watch BTE this week. Kenny doesn't trust it either. So, TNT title match. I love Arn Anderson teaming up with Wardlow. Wardlow doesn't need a promo, man, but it's so good to hear an Arn Anderson promo again. It's good to pull the Glock out again. I missed Arn Anderson, and I think this is a good place to put him. Again, there's rumblings. Maybe he grabs FTR and another top talent or a mid-card talent. Recreate the Four Horsemen. I would not hate it. I would love to see that happen. Oh boy. Yes. Arn pulled out a DDT on QT Marshall. I popped. I fucking loved it. Yeah, said men's and women's blood and guts. Yeah, obviously the Outcasts and I guess the AEW originals. Again, I think Statlander is going to be the ultimate turning point for Hayter and Britt. And I think Statlander evening up the odds is going to be a big one there. I fully agree. Can Takeshita play the heel well? He's talented as hell. I don't doubt it at all. Here, a shock asking in the chat. I don't doubt it for 1 second that he could play a heel. He's a talented guy. So we'll see what happens there. I did not expect a title change, but Wardlow is your new and 3-time TNT champion. Great match with him and Hobbs. I was surprised that it ended, but they do like to play hot potato with that TNT title. I mean, that TNT title has not really been in one's hands for too long. Let's take a look at the history here. So to date, okay, this belt debuted in May of 2020 at Double or Nothing. There's been 18 total reigns since then, and the longest reign is actually Darby Allin, the 4th guy to hold the belt. He held it for 186 days. Miro, right after that, held it for 140. And then that was in May of 21 when Miro won it, lost it to Sammy Guevara in September of 21 at Dynamite. Since Sammy being the 6th recipient of the TNT title, Cody being 2 of those 6, there's only been one reign that's been more than 100 days, and that was Wardlow's first reign at 136. Outside of that, only Sammy Guevara's first reign at 84 days. So, I mean, this just looking at Wardlow's reign when he lost it to Joe, Joe held it for 46 days. Darby, 28 days. Joe, 32 days. Wardlow, 3 days. Powerhouse Hobbs, 42 days. So it kind of shows you that the TNT title likes to be bounced around like that, which is good. That's cool to see. I didn't expect this to happen, but I don't hate it either. So the match I was most looking forward to was Jay White Commander. Boy, that did not disappoint. And afterwards, Tony Khan made it official that Commander is all elite. Yes, please, thank you. He has been impressing me ever since I first saw him on GCW. I love the signing. Then we get the probably the best moment of the Outcast. They were getting real stale with this stupid spray paint, but Jericho chaining Adam Cole to the ropes while The Outcasts take turns hitting Britt Baker with a kendo stick while Adam Cole doing some great acting all devastated. Finally, that's something I think that's going to ignite both feuds. And I think this is the best work that the Outcasts have done. They need to get away from that silly spray paint and do stuff like this. Just do brutal things like this. And I thought it was a great attack. Well done. And then, of course, the main event, Sammy and Jungle Jack. Thanks to the help of MJF and the Dynamite Diamond Ring, who also MJF gave Sammy a blank check, which Sammy filled out himself for services. And so MJF helps Sammy win. Sammy Guevara will then go on to take on Darby Allin later on. I think it maybe in 2 weeks, I think it's possibly a couple weeks for that. And then, of course, Double or Nothing is the title match. Set to for AEW Dynamite, AEW International Championship match. Orange Cassidy taking on Bandito. Orange Cassidy defending that belt a lot. Some people I saw even in the chat, Ace here saying Bandito maybe dethroning OC. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin are facing off. So that is the second round of that. And then we'll get our number one contender for Double or Nothing in May. Butcher and the Blade, good to see them back in action again. They are going to take on Omega and Takeshita. Dax Harwood, Jeff Jarrett, one-on-one. That might not be a bad match either. We'll hear from Adam Cole after the heinous attack that the Outcasts and Chris Jericho put on. We'll hear from new TNT champion Wardlow along with Arn Anderson. I don't think the international championship is going to change because I think the TBS title is changing. Jade Cargill and Taya Valkyrie is going to be one-on-one for the TBS championship. I think Taya Valkyrie ends the undefeated streak. If it doesn't happen here, and if it's some kind of DQ, no contest crap, it's going to happen at Double or Nothing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So, all right, we only got about a little over 10 minutes. Let's get into Monday Night Raw last week. We hear from the Bloodline as we do. They have made a makeshift pact with the Judgment Day to help take care of each other's problems. Interesting little alliance there, so to speak. That led to Rey Mysterio taking on Solo Sikoa in a damn good match. Sikoa continuing his winning ways. What if Solo is the guy to end Roman Reigns' streak? They've been building this guy up to be a monster. What if it's Solo that dethrones Roman Reigns? Would you like it? Let me know in the chat if you would like Solo Sikoa to be the one to dethrone Reigns. Dakota Kai took on Bianca Belair ahead of Io Sky's title match. I liked it. Dakota got some offense in. This was actually a pretty damn good match. You got to see what Dakota could do. Like I said, I think Dakota, turn heel. They're showing what they can do. Dakota hanging with the champ. Io, she'll hang with the champ. That's gonna be a damn good match. Cody Rhodes trying to call out Brock Lesnar, and Cowboy Brock came out, and then all the security came out, and so we didn't get much to go there. I liked when the security guard caught Cody in midair. That was pretty funny. But a pretty good segment all in all to continue the feud of what's going to main event Backlash in a couple of weeks. Seth freaking Rollins taking on The Miz. Damn good match. Probably my favorite match of the night, I would say. I think they're finally getting back to having Miz as a serious competitor, which I like. I really want Miz to have another world title run at some point, not a one-day title run, an actual title run again, because he deserves it, man. He 110% deserves another run. Theory and Lashley, not for the United States title, ended in a no contest because of Bronson Reed's interference. Bronson Reed And this Bobby Lashley feud has been good, and I think it's going to include Austin Theory. I think we're going to get a triple threat at Backlash if it hasn't been official yet. Talk about out of nowhere, Seth and Omos at Backlash. Oh, why? I don't. Why? Bell in the chat, I think Solo dethrones either Roman or Gunther. Could see either or. Damn, we'll get to SmackDown briefly, but boy, I'm happy. Proud of Xavier Woods. He had a good showing against Gunther. That was a damn good match on SmackDown. We hear from Trish Stratus, and we all forget how great heel Trish was. She showed us there. I thought it was a great promo of her explaining her actions. And I love heel Trish. She's damn good heel. Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville took care of Mia Yim and Candice LeRae in quick action. And then in the main event, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle took on the Judgment Day. And the good guys get the win there to close out Raw. Moving on to SmackDown. We kick things off with Rey and Santos Escobar taking on the Judgment Day, Finn and Priest. Judgment Day getting the win there. Of course, we're going to get Damian and Dominic against Rey and Bad Bunny at Backlash. So Judgment Day getting a little momentum there. Zelina Vega walking into Adam Pearce's office. It's weird seeing Zelina not be a heel and asking for a title shot. She acts real nicely, and Adam was real nice to her too. But I think that's going to be the match that we get. So I think it's going to be, I think Zelina and Ripley are going to be the world title match there. They continue the feud of Karrion Kross and Shinsuke Nakamura, which I don't know if that'll lead to Backlash or not. Viking Raiders took on Braun and Ricochet. Good match, but the part that everybody's talking about is when Braun tags in Ricochet and basically yeets him onto the canvas because either Eric or Ivar were too far away. The purpose was to throw Ricochet into one of them, but they were too far away. And Ricochet even had a funny tweet about it later on. That was a funny moment there. Braun and Ricochet getting the win there. They may be poised to have a tag title match down the line. Be interesting to see if those split, or if they stay unified, or do they create new tag titles? I don't know. It's all up in the air with this draft. Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan taking on Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green for the tag team championships. A decent match there, not too bad. I do like how Liv and Raquel have worked together as a tag team. I'm very very happy to see how well they've kind of grown as a team. As you know, so many of these teams just get thrown together, so it was good to see them working well together. Gunther, Xavier Woods, good match. Again, hard to believe this is Xavier Woods' first Intercontinental title match. And he showed up against a very unstoppable force who is going to be breaking the record for longest reign. I can definitely imagine there. And then the Usos cutting a great promo. I enjoyed it. And that led to a no DQ match with Riddle and Sikoa, with Riddle getting a little bit of revenge, even dumping an announce table on Sikoa. But in the end, Solo is unstoppable, and Simone Spike got the win. We got 5 minutes till Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about what the plans are. But before we do, keep in tune to the channel here. We're going to have Rick Ucchino is going to have a Q&A session with both Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller. That's going to be up tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also any interviews in the past that he has done, you can go check on our Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. A great interview with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire there. So from Fightful, the plans for Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes going to cut a promo. We're going to get LWO against the Bloodline, a video of Trish Stratus, Triple H's announcement, of course. Damage Control's taking on Raquel, Liv, and Bianca Belair. Austin Theory cutting a promo. Ooh, I hope this gets time. Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. I hope that gets time. Seth Rollins promo. Mysterio taking on Priest. John Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Cora Jade, and Nikki Cross are set for main event. And looks like the Cody Rhodes, I'm not going to spoil it, but Cody Rhodes, his promo is going to lead to a match, and I think you're not going to be disappointed. This looks like it's going to shape up to be a damn good Monday Night Raw. So without further ado, I want to once again thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard. We are here each and every week at 7 Eastern, 6 Central before Monday Night Raw. Love all the interaction in the chat. It's going to be even more interesting next week with one half of the draft already in the books and the other half to come next week on Monday Night Raw. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully we see you back again next week. Once again, make sure you check out the YouTube page here for the upcoming Q&As with Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video. Help us get this out to as many people and get even more love in the chat. Also, make sure you hit that bell icon. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe first, then hit the bell icon, because then you get notified when new episodes come your way of both Lost in the Midcard and when Sid and Rick go live with Believe in Pro Wrestling. With all that said, again, I thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard. Enjoy Raw from Chicago tonight. And as always, Lost in the Midcard is brought to you by Bet Online.